Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the new comic books I picked up for January 1st, 2025. Happy New Year. New comic book day this week. I got into the shop late because it's like the holidays are many things, but it really messes with the comic book schedule because was the 25th was a Wednesday and then the 1st was a Wednesday. So anyway, got into the comic shop on Thursday, picked up some books, picked up both the previous week, the December 25th releases, and the January 1st releases this week. So, picked up, got a couple books here. But the first thing I want to talk about is Redcoat number 8. And that actually wasn't able to pick up physically. There was a mix-up, and I don't know if he had some damaged copies or whatever, but he was kind of shorted on his order. So I was like, that's fine, don't worry about it. I read it digitally, and then he's going to get me a copy soon. So, Redcoat number 8. Yeah. So, this book continues to impress me. I really enjoy it, and it highlights, this issue highlights a storytelling feature that I really like about this series, and the fact that Simon Pure is an immortal. You don't have to have this linear storytelling. You don't have to say like this is what happened, and then it's he goes on from this to this to this. They touched on it before when they had the first story arc was when Einstein was a little boy. He was like his sidekick character, and then issue 7 showed Simon Pure talking to Albert Einstein on his deathbed. That was a pretty poignant issue, and so then this issue jumps back now we're in the was it 1873, was it 1873? Yeah. So I like the fact that they can tell these stories. You can kind of jump around time periods and just have fun with it. It reminds me a lot of the Jonah Hex series from the Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray. That series where it's just each issue was just a solo Jonah Hex adventure, and that's kind of what this format is reminding me of now. The first 6 issues was a single story arc, but then so far 7, 8, and it looks like 9 as well. They're kind of single issue stories, and I love that. I love the fact that lean into the fact that he's an immortal, and you can just kind of show him at different times in his life, and that's really cool. So the story of this issue, it's a kind of a gruesome one. It starts off with a kind of a wayward traveler stopping into a house, like a bed and breakfast type thing, to a place to stay for the night. And seemingly, older couple, their daughter welcome into the home, and then it quickly turns south, and they murder the wayward traveler. So it turns out that this is a family of serial killers that are just they kill these travelers and then steal their belongings and for to cash in on. So naturally, after you see the death of that wayward traveler, the next traveler they encounter is of course Simon Pure. And what happens when you try to murder an immortal? And that's this story is him. Simon Pure comes onto the scene. They try to murder him, and then there is some things that happen as a result of that. And I really enjoyed this issue. Really fun, gruesome, and like it's a different type of story. This is more like kind of a horror ish kind of tale, and that's really fun. It's fun that you can kind of even within the same series, the same character, kind of have him in different types of scenarios that might fit into different types of genres. So yeah, I love this series. Been having a lot of fun with it, and yeah, it looks like issue 9 is going to be an appearance of Johnny Appleseed. So I also love that they're kind of leaning into kind of Americana lore, and that's super fun to see as well. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the next issue of Redcoat. All right, so next up, let's see. Things I have nitpicky things to say, and then we'll get into the stuff that I actually really enjoyed this week. And it pains me to say, well, it pains me to say this, but Knights versus Samurai number 4. I feel like I'm missing it. I feel like I'm missing the point of this series, and I've talked about it before. It hasn't quite been what I wanted it to be in this kind of simple Knights versus Samurai straightforward story, And I thought it was kind of getting a little better with the last issue. I mean, I can kind of see that there is a lore that they're building. They're trying to build this lore. And the problem is, um, I'm having a hard time being engaged in that lore. And the other thing I'm having a hard time with is the pacing of this book is wonky. Like there's something off that I can't. I mean, I feel like I feel like I'm confident in my ability to read a comic book and follow along, but there's things that happen here that I'm not. It kind of jumps around, but not really jumping around like time periods or anything like that. It's just the jumping around in the like the settings. There is a little bit of flashback, which I kind of picked up on, but then a lot of the characters tend to look the same to me. Like I have a hard time distinguishing who's who, and then they also kind of get beat up and bloodied. So then their appearances get altered. So it's just it's hard. I do like some of the art in this series. I like some of the there's a dragon in this book, and I like some of the panels of seeing the dragon action. One thing that kind of like set me off right off the bat was I do like that there's a language barrier between the characters, the knights and the samurai. They don't know each other's language, so they're trying to work together in this scenario. I think to take down a dragon, but there's a language barrier, and the way that they kind of drive that point home is they'll have word balloons that show dual languages within the same word bubble, and that's a good concept. I think I think it's an intelligent thing to try to convey that through the word balloons. But on the second page, and I'll pop it up here, it interferes too much with the art, in my opinion. So it breaks it up, and it just looks like a lot of text, and it doesn't not just the it's just not visually appealing to me. Even comics that are word heavy, I just feel like it the way that this is broken up visually, it's unappealing to me. So just that was my gut reaction. That I turned the page and I see like the all the word balloons in both languages, and I was like, oh man, really, all of this. So yeah, it that kind of set the tone for the issue, and then I had a hard time trying to follow along. I think the concept is good. I think I am just missing something, and so I'm probably gonna drop this one because it's just not. I don't want to continue to say negative things about something if I'm just not enjoying it, and it just might not be for me. It just might not be what I'm wanting to get out of it, and maybe once it's collected in a trade, maybe I'll maybe others will persuade me to give it another look. But I think for now, I think we're gonna be done with this series. Next up, here's another one that I talked about that I was going to be done with, and full disclosure, I didn't read this issue, but it's Spawn 360. Now this is Brett Booth. I've talked about before. Brett Booth art, love his art. Adelso Corona on inks, and I love their pairing for sure. And so I had this on my pull list. I dropped it, but then I saw that Todd McFarlane was back on scripts for the book, and I talked about it last issue. I was like, yeah, it's not like the Todd McFarlane story is going to bring me back to a series, but what it does do is the way that the creative collaborative process in a Todd McFarlane script is here's the plot points, draw me something cool, go. And so right off the bat, so the issue starts in hell. There's these guys digging this pit, and then you turn the page, and it's literally the second page in, and you see Brett Booth drawing dinosaurs. There's this like hellish, huge dinosaur that they're using to dig this pit in hell to bury. There's angels and demons, and they had a war there. They're just burying all the dead, and I mean. That's why I picked up the issue from the stand. I turned the page and I was like, yeah, okay, that's Todd McFarlane writing and Brett Booth on art. So I bought it, and I leafed through it. I turned through the series, the book, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not really sure what's going on. There's some great panels in here, great pages. There's a double page spread with like a commando spawn, which looks really cool. and I know there's a new ruler of hell. Now we're like 10 issues in. She took over in issue 350, and I kind of feel like I didn't miss a whole lot in the story. You could probably skip those 10 issues and pick up here, and you're probably going to be fine. But yeah, so Al Simmons still has no powers on Earth, and that's kind of getting tiresome. I want to see Brett Booth and Adelso Corona. I want to see them draw Spawn with like all his powers and going crazy. That's what I want to see. So that I think we're getting there. I think by the end of this issue, they're setting it up to that Spawn's going to get his powers back, and so I think this is going to get added back to the pull list, and really just for the art alone, and the fact that it's a $2.99 comic book, and especially if I dropped Spawn, I dropped Knights versus Samurai, which is another McFarlane kind of title. Like, okay, if I drop Knights versus Samurai, let me pick up Spawn again. So I'm going to add Spawn back to the pull list, and again, it's mainly just for the art. So, all right, 4 more books here, and next one we'll do is Hornsby and Halo #2. It's the Ghost Machine Family Odysseys imprint, Peter Tomasi and Peter Snydberg. And this is the story of the heaven and hell had a truce. They were warring. They had a truce and said, let's send each of our own children to Earth to live, to be raised, to appreciate the other side of things. So there's the demon child is raised by a good family, and the angel is being raised by a pretty crappy set of parents. And just to kind of to give it appreciation for each side of things, and hopefully bring a lasting peace to heaven and hell. And of course, the series wouldn't be a series if it was like, oh yeah, that experiment worked. So what you see is more of the kind of the even though the daughter is raised in a good family, she has this kind of she goes and has some stolen jewelry that she pawns, and the kid who's the angel character, who is raised by the kind of crappy parents, he tries to he made him he caused some damage in the first issue, and he's trying to rectify that and clean up his damage and take care of it himself. So you see their nature there, and then what you learn in this issue is that there are characters on Earth now that are other demons that are trying to I think what they're trying to do is basically wreak havoc and deny heaven and hell the chance to do this experiment to see if they can create lasting peace, and they don't want peace. So they're there to disrupt this and kind of go after the kids. So yeah, I really enjoy this series so far. It's a more of an all ages series, but it's a good book. So yeah, like that one. And next up, we'll do the Autumn Kingdom. Autumn Kingdom #4. This is the closeout to the first story arc, and it's by Cullen Bunn and Christopher Mitten is on art. And I like this series. I liked all 4 issues. I really think it'd be much better to read these all at once, because the way that they're telling the story is it almost feels like more time has passed than you're supposed to think has passed, because it just kind of jumps around a little bit, and moves the plot forward a little faster than I think I would want it to. I think I would rather see them take their time. These 2 daughters who are trying to find their parents, who were abducted by some kind of evil forces. And it's them kind of confronting where these evil forces are, and they go to locate their parents. And that is resolved in this issue, but there's definite indication that more is to come. So I actually am happy, because after last issue, I was thinking, how are they gonna like tie this story up in one issue and then have it be done? Because I thought it was a 4-issue miniseries, and it turns out that there is more planned in this universe, and I think it's cool. I think I'm looking forward to going back and reading all 4 of these again, because the way that the narrative so there's the world within the world, which is the father of this family wrote a series of books, and they make reference to the characters in those stories. And you see some pages in each issue. You see a couple pages that kind of show the journey of the main character of those books. there's a parallel between the books and then the real world events, and I just feel like there's some points that I feel like I missed. Some of the parallels or connections from the book world and the real world, I feel like I didn't land with me fully, and I think that's just the way that I read comics and what I retain and what I don't retain. So I'm gonna look forward to going back and reading all four of these issues again, and to see if it lands better for me. But I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the interaction. They were talking to. There's this really cool kind of like a gatekeeper character, like a past king in this in the kind of I don't even know what to call it. They're not like demons, but it's like an undead kind of scenario. But there's just the art is cool. I like the character designs. So yeah, definitely looking forward to revisiting this one in the all four issues. So, and then I'll pick up that one up as well when they do a volume 2, because I just think there's something there. There's something more there that I can fully put my finger on. I'm enjoying it, but I think I'm just missing some stuff. So, in the last 2 issues we're going to take a look at. First, we'll do let's do Void Rivals first. Void Rivals number 15. I think this came out last week. But yeah, this is Robert Kirkman's writing this series. Art still is Lorenzo De Felici. Now, it's kind of hard to do a short recap of things that are going on in Void Rivals because so much is going on in Void Rivals. I think there's like four or five different plot threads, maybe 3 or 4. I gotta count again, but no, yeah, there's multiple. 4, 1, 2, 3, yeah, at least 4 storylines going on in the book at once, and the main the part of the story they deal with most is kind of cool. You see Hot Rod on the cover of the issue. Springer has been featured in the series so far, and you get a reunion between Hot Rod and Springer in this book, which is good. It's fun, and you get Hot Rod being introduced to some of like the humanoid characters, and them kind of seeing Hot Rod as a transformer, like, what is this? And they react as you might expect they would react. But yeah, this furthers the story along. There are more and more connections to Transformers in this series that I feel like it's a wonderful companion. And if you enjoy Transformers, I really think that the Void Rival series is something that you should pick up. The first 2 trades are out, so that's a good way. And I really think that the trades are the kind of the best way to experience this series. There are some questions you ask month to month, like, oh, what does that mean? What does this mean? And there's some good kind of theorizing. But I think for pure enjoyment of the story, just go the trades, because if you read the trades, I think you're going to enjoy the series a lot more from like a casual standpoint. If you're like really in the Energon universe and want to know all the like the nitty gritty stuff that's going on, month to month is kind of fun because you kind of see where the storylines might be going. But I think as a whole, I think I would recommend people just pick up the trades to read them and enjoy the story that way. So, all right, now, last issue that I read this week was Absolute Superman number 3. Now, this is Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. Now, I had some issues with issue 2, and most of the issues came from the part of the story that involved Kal-El and Lois Lane on Earth. And this issue is, I think, if I remember correctly, is set entirely on Krypton in the past, like when you see Kal-El as a young boy. And yeah, this issue I really, really enjoyed. And I've said it from the start. The most interesting thing about this series is the stuff on Krypton. So leading up to the destruction of Krypton, we know that's coming. It's definitely not. They make a allusion to, like, you think, oh, they're going to send Kal-El off on his own and kind of then fall into that story thread, and that is not what is going to happen at all, and that's very interesting. So they're setting it up to be like, this is definitely not what you are expecting it to be when it comes to his parents, the status of his parents, the status of the Kents, who they are, where they are. Yeah. Very interesting. I feel like this one kind of reignited my interest in this series. Um, and it could be just because of the Krypton stuff. It's like if they, I don't know, like it's interesting because I like the Krypton stuff, but then when you talk about Kal-El on Earth, if he doesn't have, like I was talking to the last issue, was that his suit has a sentience. His name is Saul, and it kind of helps him. It's his connection to Krypton still, and I don't know, like I don't know how to feel because I don't want Kal-El to have a connection to Krypton on Earth because he has such a strong connection to Krypton already. You see it here. You see his history. You know, he's seeing the events of Krypton's destruction. He's seeing everything that led up to that. The kid, he's like maybe like 10 in the book. So I don't know. I don't know what to think. I'm interested, and I'm looking forward to reading more. But yeah, it just so far the least interesting thing about this series has been Kal-El on Earth with Lois. So I don't know. We'll see. So all right. And then the last thing I picked up was just something fun. The Thundercats number 11, the Manix homage variant. And what can I say? It's funny because I had talked about having the store owner buy the was it issue 7 Manix cover, and he did. But then he saw this one solicited. I didn't even have it pulled. And because I forgot that it was coming up, and he like just ordered one, and he said, I know you like that artist. Did you want to get that? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so that's just fun. Manix stuff is great, and I love that our friend Nick Barucci is kind of leaning into the Manix craze and giving him the opportunities to get more of his work out there. So that's like a very very cool thing. So I'm here for it. I'm here to support it, and let's see more of it. So, all right. So that is what I picked up this week, actually for 2 weeks worth. Big week coming up. The Transformers issue 16, and then I think Absolute Batman number 4 as well. Because I think Absolute Batman and Transformers are on the same schedule. So yeah, it'll be a fun week for sure of new comics. So thank you very much for watching this one, and I will see you soon.